Hello and welcome everyone to the second Seeing Habits video here in this side street driving series, where I'll be talking you through some of the seeing habits that you'll use when you get started driving on actual streets. So, the first seeing habit is called look where you want to go. Now, for me to teach you how to do this seeing habit properly, I first need to talk about something called peripheral vision, because these two seeing habits go hand in hand. So when it comes to peripheral vision, it's all about what you can see on the sides when you're looking straight ahead. So remember that saying, "I caught that out of the corner of my eye"? Well, no, that was just peripheral vision. That's how it works. Alrighty, let's continue. Now, I'd like you to join me in this quick example where I'm going to show you how your peripheral vision really does make a big difference in how much you're able to see. So let's use this picture for the example. Okay, I want you to look just below the number 1 at the bottom of the screen. Really take a moment to stare at that spot. You can kind of see some of the picture, but not much. Okay, now look up and settle your eyes on the street just under the number 2 at the top of the screen. Now, isn't that a big difference? You can see how your vision just opened and you were able to see the whole screen at one time. That's the big difference your peripheral vision makes. And in real life driving, it's even more impressive. Now, to get the best results out of the seeing habit, look where you want to go, and to open up your peripheral vision, you want to keep your eyes up and off the pavement, roughly 2 meters, which is about 6 feet into the air, as you're looking way down the street to where you want to go. Now, you're going to use the seeing habit, look where you want to go, as soon as you start driving off down the street, because you're going to use it to determine your lane positioning. Now, having said that, let's just go ahead and talk about lane positioning real quick. Now, most side streets don't have lines painted on them, mostly because it would cost a fortune just for upkeep alone. But it's not a big deal, because it's pretty simple to figure out where you should be driving, even without the lines. You just want to look well ahead where you want to go, and then just kind of guesstimate where you think the center point of the street is. Then you want to imagine where a vehicle would be driving beside that center point and aim your eyes towards the middle of that imaginary vehicle. So you'll use this as a reference point for look where you want to go in times when you don't have an actual vehicle to use as a reference point. But just keep in mind, the overall goal when you're driving is to stay to the immediate right of the center point, even when the street is wide. So, if your reference is off, or you're following a vehicle that isn't driving in their correct lane positioning, well, then you need to adjust until it feels right. Okay, let's move on and start talking about a seeing habit that's called an area scan. Now, the most important part of an area scan, or any scan really, is that before you take your eyes off the road ahead to do the scan, you first need to evaluate what's happening in front of you just to make sure that there's nothing that may require your attention more, such as a car backing out of its driveway, which may require you to adjust your speed, maybe even down to a full stop. Or there could be teenagers near the road, goofing around, having fun, but definitely not paying attention to their surroundings, which should make you concerned that they may step out in the road without looking. And a person doesn't have to be goofing around for you to be concerned. Even someone walking down the side of the street equally requires your attention. So these were 3 examples of what you would want to focus on first. And then, when everything seems good and you fully believe the situation to be safe, then you can begin your area scan. Okay, so I've deemed it safe to take my eyes off the road ahead, so I'm about to begin my area scan. But before I walk you through the ins and outs of the area scan, I'm going to clear my board so it's not so distracting. Okay, here we go. Now, because I drive on the right side of the street, I will begin to scan the area to my right first, since it's closest to me, and by looking well ahead at eyeball dude 1 and keeping my eyes up into the air a good 2 meters or 6 feet, that's going to open up my peripheral vision and allow me to see the whole area from eyeball dude 1 all the way to eyeball dude 2. Now, just real quick, I want to explain that I film on a 6-foot board, and because everything is to scale, that means I'm only able to fit about 2 to possibly 3 houses maximum in each scene. Now, in real life, when I go to look well ahead towards where eyeball dude 1 is, it's usually going to be a lot further than just the distance between 2 or 3 houses. So just keep that in mind when you're out driving in real life. So once my vision settles far ahead, settling just before my vision becomes blurry, I'm now going to scan from eyeball dude 1 as far right as I can to eyeball dude 2, which opens my peripheral vision, allowing me to see the big picture of the whole area to my right. And then my eyes will drift back to looking well ahead where I want to go. And then once I have a good feel for what's going on ahead of me, I'll do a quick rearview mirror scan to see what's happening behind me before moving on. And then I'll do it all over again, scanning to my left. So first I scan on the diagonal, and then I'll move on to the sweeping scan. And once again, I'll finish off with one final scan forward, and then I'll scan my rearview mirror. So after all this scanning, I have a complete view of all the areas around me. So if there is even a possible problem, I should have lots of time to figure out the safest solution. And that's it. We are at the end of this Seeing Habits video. So when you have some time, check out the Tidbits video 1-1A, Seeing Habits using the area scan in real-life driving. And then in the next Seeing Habits video, I'll be talking about the seeing habits that you will use for scanning parked vehicles. Okay, now it's time for me to say, if you found this video helpful and you liked what you saw, then do me a solid and hit that like button. And if you want to help this project grow bigger and better, hit that subscribe button. And let me thank you for doing that in advance. Okay then, that's it. So I will see you when I see you. And until then, take care.